Hello, hola. Welcome to our lesson one. We are going into first grade. So let's look at the first grade standards. So this is first grade, K to 12, K-12 math standards. But in particular, we're looking at your first grade. Now, these are columns. So this is the column, this is the column, a column, and a column. There's four columns because there's four quarters. Quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. We're obviously going to start in quarter one. And I highlighted some things that we plan on working on together in our lesson videos, like how to count forward to 120. Do you already know how to count forward? So like one, two, three, four. How far can you actually go? Can you get to 120? Maybe you should practice today or tomorrow, or have mom or dad test you out to see how far you really can go. So that's counting forward to 120. This one down here says count backwards from 120. So that's starting at 120 and going 119, 118, 117, which might be harder. It is harder to count backwards than it is to count forward. Because you're used to counting forward. You count pennies and quarters and basketballs and Barbies, but you never count backwards. So maybe you should have mom, dad, or brother or sister, whoever you got, test you out, right? Or grandma, somebody got to test you out. So counting forward and counting backwards, both of those are important. And then you got to be able to read, write, and represent numbers to 100. I know you can write some numbers, but how many numbers can you write? Can you write all the way up to 100? Can you read the numbers up to 100? Then you got to be able to count by fives and tens all the way to 100. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. That's called skip counting. So let's go over to our lesson page and let's see what we can do for today. I'm going to put on a timer because we'll just do about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see how long you actually can last, okay? So, lesson one. How about we start with writing some numbers, okay? So I'm going to write the number 1, and then I'll put a space, and I'll put 2. Then I'll put another space, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9. All right, underneath it, I'm going to write 1, but I'm going to write it using letters. O-N-E. 2, T-W-O. 3, T-H-R-E-E. 4, F-O-U-R. 5, F-I-V-E. 6, S-I-X. 7, S-E-V-E-N. 8, E-I-G-H-T. 9, N-I-N-E. Now notice I wrote mine all on one line. If you can't fit it, don't force it. You can use multiple lines, okay? But if you can, good, very good. Now, let me see what else we can do real quick with these numbers. Well, if I start with, actually, let me write some more numbers out so I can see all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's counting all the way up to 20. So now let's see here. This is counting by ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's counting by ones. What if I wanted to count by fives? Well, to count by five, I'm going to go ahead and start with 5. And that means I need to jump forward 5 spaces. So when I jump, I'm going to do an arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get 10. All right, to keep going, I'm going to keep jumping 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 15. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So counting by fives, I can have 5, 10, 15, 20, and then of course we'll put dot, 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 because this means it goes on forever. There's more numbers. But let me challenge you. What if I didn't start with 5, but instead I started with 2? So before I do it, let me write my numbers again. And you can write them again too if you want. Maybe say them out loud as you're writing them to make sure you can recognize them. Okay, so this time I'm still going to count by fives. So I'm going to write count by fives. But I'm going to start with 2. So I'm going to circle the 2. And then in order to count by fives, I need to jump 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let me keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I have more numbers, I can keep going, but I don't. So let me just write what I have. 2, 7, 12, 17. That's counting by fives. What if I wanted to start, I don't know, at 4? So now I'm just going to write count by 5. I'm not going to rewrite my numbers again because they're above me, okay? So I have 4. I'm going to underline it. 4, then I count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 14. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 19. And then don't let me forget my dots so I know it goes on forever. Very good. That's counting by fives with our numbers. What if we didn't write our numbers out, but instead we just did it like off the top of our head? So let's try this. So we'll write example 1, and then underneath it, we'll start by write, or actually we'll write our instructions. Count by 5. And then underneath it, I guess I'm gonna pick a starting number. My starting number is gonna be 3. So now I gotta figure out what comes after 3 if I'm counting by fives. Do me a favor, hold your hand, one of your hands in front of your face. You got 5 fingers sticking up, right? Close all of your fingers, including your thumb, into fists. Now in front of your face, you have a closed fist. Okay. Start by lifting one of those fingers. So either your thumb or one of your fingers. Lift the finger or your thumb, just one of them, and say 3. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. Let me try this again. Close your fist. Is your fist closed? Very good. When your fist is closed, say the number 3. Now, we're going to start counting, but we're going to start at 3. And we're going to count until we got 5 fingers in the air. So if my fist is closed, I'm starting with 3, my first number, 3. And then I lift my thumb, and that becomes 4. Then I lift the next finger, and that's 5. And then I'll continue lifting a finger at a time and still counting. 6, 7, 8. Let's see if you're understanding. Close your fist. Say 8, and then count. Lift your thumb, and you get 9. Lift the finger, you get 10. Lift the next finger, 11. Keep going, 12, 13. All right, close your fists. You got 13. All right, so you say 13. And then start lifting your thumb and fingers one at a time and counting. So let's see if you can follow me. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, close your fists. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Close your fists. 23, and then start counting. Make sure to lift your thumb and fingers one at a time as you're counting. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then I'll put dot, dot, dot. So you can count by 5 using your 5 fingers. Let's keep going. I don't know what your favorite number is, so I'm going to put 7. I'll find out what your favorite number is next time. Okay, so 7. Close your fists, say 7, and then put up your thumb and you say 8. Put up a finger and you'll say 9, and then do the next finger, 10, the next finger, 11, the next finger, 12. You should have all 5 of your little fingers looking at you. All right, close your fists. Say 12, and then start counting. I'm going to be quiet, and we'll see if you get the same number I get. So close your fists, say 12, and then lift your thumb and start counting. Did you get 17? If you did, good job. If you didn't, remember, close your fists, say 12. Lift your thumb, say 13. Lift the next finger, say 14. Lift the next finger, say 15. The next finger, 16. The last finger, 17. All right, close your fists. Do 17 plus 5. So when we're counting up, we're doing this thing called adding, which is plusing. Okay? Counting up, we're adding or we're plusing. So add 5. So close your fist, say 17, and then count up 5. I'm going to be quiet. Did you get 22? Keep going. Close your fists, say 22. Count up 5. Did you get 27? Good job. Now let's see how far you can actually count. Close your fists, say 27. Count up 5. Did you get 32? If you did, good job. If not, let's talk about it. 27, put up my thumb, 28. Put up my next finger, 29. My next finger, 30. My next finger, 31. And then my last finger, 32. All right, close your fists. Say 32. Let's add 5. Did you get 37? Very good. Very, very good. Dot, dot, dot. Now, before we end the video, I want to challenge you. You like to be challenged, so let's challenge you real quick. Challenge. Count backwards by 5. The challenge, count backwards by 5. So of course, I'm going to start you off with a big number. Not that big though. How about 19? Okay? So before I do this, actually, let me erase the 19. I am going to, matter of fact, let me just scroll up just a little bit so I can see some numbers. There we go. All right, I'll put the 19 back. All right, then put a comma. All right, so I did that so I can see these guys up here. I'm going to erase this. You don't have to erase it, but I will. You don't have to erase any of it. Just so we can see the numbers and it can help us count backwards, okay? Counting backwards is hard, but if you practice it, you can really get it. All right, here's 19. So close your fists. Say 19. Put up your thumb. What is the number underneath 19, less than 19, to the left of 19 is 18. So when you put up your thumb, you say 18. You put up the next finger, you say 17. You put up the next finger, you say 16. Put up the next finger and you say 15. Put up your last finger and you say 14. All right, let's keep the challenge going. So we're at 14. Close your fists. 14. Put up your thumb and you should say 13. Put up the next finger and it should be 12. Keep going. 11. Keep going. 10. The last finger should be 9. All right, let's keep going. We're at 9. Close your fists. Say 9. Put up your thumb. What's the number less than 9? Right next to him. 8. Put up your next finger. 7. Next finger. 6. Next finger. 5. Last finger. 4. So this is counting backwards by 5s. 19, 14, 9, 4. And then you have to stop. So there's no dot, dot, dot. Okay, so let's recap. That means let's go back over what we did. If you're writing, go ahead and stop writing for a moment because I'm about to slide up, but then make sure you can go back and pause the video if you need to, okay? All right, so lesson 1, we're talking about numbers, but in first grade, we gotta make sure we can count numbers forward and backwards by 5s and by 10s. Now, most first graders think counting by 5s just mean 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc. But sometimes you can actually start at a number that is not 5, and you have to be able to count by 5. So 2, 7, 12, 17, or 4, 9, 14, 19. And remember, counting up is the same as adding or plus. It's this symbol. Okay, so that's what we really worked on in this video. Then near the end of the video, end of the lesson, we said, well, let's challenge ourselves. Let's count backwards by 5s. So the method you're doing with your fist, I call that fist method. Why is it called fist method? Because you close your fist and you either count up, which means you're adding, or you count down, which means you're subtracting. But if you practice with it, this fist method will get you through first grade and second grade math. You don't have to have your fingers laid out in front of you counting fingers. Instead, you can close your fists and you can count up. So 14, 15, 16, 17. Or you can count down 10, 9, 8, 7, and use your fingers to keep you in line and on track on what you're doing. Okay, so that's lesson one. Remember, for our videos, we're working through quarter one. We're not going to try to do all of this in one video. So that means for lesson two, we'll come back and we'll continue counting by fives and maybe we'll count by tens. But either way, we'll make sure every time we count forward and we count backwards. All right, thank you for watching the video. Have a good day. Adios.